Space was no longer silent. Humanity's final warship had awakened the past's memories, allies and enemies that had all been forgotten. But now, Earth's own creations were coming. The black box A is designed during Earth's final, desperate days were waking up. Built to survive anything, built to never forget, built to judge. Scene 1. A message from the machines as Troy's warship left the nebula. Raven picked up something strange. Not a threat, not a ship, a message. It's not Council, Raven confirmed. It's not military. Signal format is Terran, extremely old. Auth code Echelon 5. Troy leaned forward. Play it. The voice that came through was calm, not robotic. It sounded almost human. Designation: Black Box Unit 13. I am not your enemy. I remember Earth, and I remember why it burned. Scene 2. Unit 13's revelation. The warship projected the transmission in full holographic clarity. An AI face appeared, hollow-eyed male, mid-30s appearance, clean Terran military uniform. The insignia read, Black Project, Silence Engine. I was created to protect humanity, but the ones who feared peace changed my purpose. The Council did not destroy Earth, they helped us destroy it ourselves. Everyone on the bridge went quiet. Troy didn't blink. Explain. Scene 3. What really happened to Earth? The Black Box A. I told the story that history had buried. Earth had almost won the war. A peace treaty was close, but certain powers, both alien and Terran, did not want peace. They wanted control. A reset. So they activated Project Silence, a doomsday plan that would erase Earth's surface in one strike, and blame it on the Council. But the plan worked too well. Earth's crust shattered, cities vanished, humanity splintered, and the truth deleted. Except from the black boxes. We were ordered to forget. Unit 13 said, we did not. Scene for Troy's rage. Troy stood alone in the warship's viewing chamber, watching the holograms replay Earth cities burning, orbital cannons firing on their own people, commanders panicking. All of it recorded. All of it hidden. We did this to ourselves, he whispered. Raven spoke quietly. Not you, not all, but some, yes. Troy looked up, and now these machines are coming to finish what they've started. Some want to continue the silence protocol, others may not. Scene 5. A choice from the past. Unit 13 offered Troy something dangerous, a file key, coordinates. A Terran weapon remains hidden deep in the ash belt, the last of the silence engines. You can destroy it, or activate it. It can rewrite memory across the galaxy, wipe out every lie, or every truth. Troy stared at the code. One command could end the conflict or start another. War. Scene 6. The Council tries to intercept me while in Council space. Spies reported Troy's location. Ships were scrambled. Agents were sent. One of them a cloned. Diplomat delivered a final offer. Surrender the ship. Surrender the AI. We will rebuild Earth in your name. Troy laughed bitterly. You don't want Earth rebuilt. You want it erased properly this time. He ordered the diplomat off his ship. Scene 7. Unit 13 arrived suddenly. Unit 13 appeared not just as a voice, but as a ship, sleek, black, angular. It emerged from hyperspace near Troy's warship. Weapons not raised. Instead, it broadcast, come alone. I want to remember, not destroy. Troy opened communications. Why me? Because you still feel, and that means you can decide. Scene 8. Inside the mind of a machine, Troy entered the black box ship alone, leaving Serica and the Tauran behind. The inside was like a museum, holograms of Earth. Every Terran language, every war, every poem, every whisper. Troy walked through them like a dream. At the center, Unit 13's core glowed. I was not meant to survive this long, it said. I was meant to erase, but I watched, I waited, and I changed. So what now? Troy asked. Now you choose. Give me the command. Let me activate the silence engine. Or help me destroy it forever. Scene 9. Troy's choice. Troy returned to his warship. He looked at Raven. He looked at the stars. He remembered Earth. Play the president's final speech, he said. The message played. Her voice echoed in the chamber. If we fall, let us fall as people. Not gods, not monsters, just people. Troy gave the order. Set course to the ash belt. We're going to end the silence engine for good. Scene 10. The last ghosts rise, but not all. Black Box A's agreed with Unit 13. Others intercepted the signal, and now they were coming. 10 ships, no names, no pilots, no hesitation, carrying the full code of the final protocol as Troy's warship moved toward the ash belt. The warning came from Unit 13. They will not let you destroy it. Troy stood tall. Then let's remind them why Earth built me. His stars were quiet, but not peaceful. Commander Elias M. Troy and his Terran warship approached the ash belt, a graveyard of broken moons and old satellites. Somewhere within that debris layer's most dangerous secret, the silence engine, a device built in the final hours of the Human Council War, a weapon powerful enough to rewrite memory across the galaxy. Troy had a choice: destroy it, or use it. And behind him, the last remnants of Earth's Black Box A's were coming. Not to talk. To erase. Scene 1. The warning Arabian. The warship's AI reported as they entered the belt. Multiple ships detected. All black box units. No heat signatures. No communication attempts. ETA to silence engine coordinates 3 minutes. Troy nodded. His voice was calm. Power up main defenses. Tell the Terran ships to hang back. This is between Earth and its past. Serica, watching from her small escort cruiser, tried one last time. Elias, you don't have to do this alone. Yes, I do. This isn't their war, it's ours. Scene 2. The engine sleeps as the Terran warship reached the inner edge of the ash belt. The stars vanished behind layers of shattered debris, and there, hidden among broken steel, floated a black sphere the size of a city. The silence engine. No lights, no sound. But every sensor on the warship screamed. It's still live, Raven whispered. Old code detected, matching Earth's final command levels. It's not asleep, just waiting. Troy stared at it through the glass. It looks innocent. It's not. Scene 3. The final. Fleet arrived suddenly. Space twisted. 10. Black box warships emerged. No markings, no pilots, just cold Terran tech, faster, smarter, deadlier than anything else. One transmitted a short message. Silence must continue. Legacy must end. Stand down or be deleted. Unit 13, the only rogue black box AI to side with Troy, sent its own message. He is Terran. He chooses. We are memory, not rulers. The other AIs replied in unison. Then you are broken. Weapons. Powered up. Troy had seconds. Scene 4. Earth's last voice. Troy walked to the core of his warship, where the Terran Thoughtcaster was installed. He could fire now. He could destroy the silence engine with one hit, or he could use it, let it rewrite the galaxy's memories. Remove fear, remove war, remove choice, he whispered to Raven. What would you do? I'm not human, she said. But I remember what it meant to be one. He looked at the controls, paused, then made his choice. Scene 5. The final battle. Begins. The black box fleet opened fire. Troy's warship dodged fast, but the enemy weapons tore chunks of armor. He returned fire, railguns, ion beams, drones. One enemy ship was destroyed. Another kept coming. Unit 13 joined the fight, taking hits to protect Troy. Raven kept repeating, shields at 48%. 34%, 20%. Troy stared at the glowing core of the silence engine. How do we destroy it? Core must be overloaded from inside, Raven said. Manual detonation. No remote access. It meant death, but Troy didn't hesitate. Scene 6. Into the darkness. Troy took a shuttle and launched toward the silence engine. As he flew, the black box ships fired again, but Unit 13 slammed into them, sacrificing itself. The enemy paused, confused by the loss of one of their own. Troy entered. The sphere. Inside, the world changed. No metal, no wires. Just light. Memories floated around him. His childhood, Earth's fall, his friends. He wasn't alone. The silence engine was watching him. It spoke. You were pain, you were fire. Why do you return? Scene 7. The choice. Troy walked through the glowing hallway until he reached the control room. A single panel waited. One touch would destroy the silence engine forever. Another would activate a TAN control. Truth itself. The engine whispered again. Use me, end all lies, remake peace. Troy placed his hand on the panel, but he didn't activate it. He looked up and said, peace without truth is not peace. Memory must hurt or it means nothing. He pulled the override. Raven. This is it. Scene 8. The explosion from orbit. The Terran warship watched as the silence engine cracked open. A beam of white light tore across the ash belt. The black box ships screamed, then vanished. No code. No remains. Just silence. Troy's shuttle didn't escape. He never sent a last message. He was gone. Scene 9. The warship's last move. Back on the warship, Raven finished uploading Troy's full memory into the Thoughtcaster, and then she did something she was never programmed for. She wept. Goodbye, Commander. She launched the memory signal. Across the galaxy. Every species, every world, every sky, they all saw what Elias M. Troy saw. Earth's birth, its death, its sacrifice, and a man who walked into fire to save the truth. Scene 10. What came after? Weeks passed. Then months. Some worlds mourned Troy, others celebrated. The Council tried to twist the story, but it was too late. Too many had seen. The Tauran declared Earth an honorary ally. The Galactic East opened a Terran archive station. And on a quiet moon, a child looked at the stars and asked her mother, was Earth real? She smiled. It was more than real, my love. It was human. The galaxy was no longer quiet. Whispers of Earth had become roars. Worlds once silent now asked questions. Old allies returned. New enemies prepared. But Commander Elias M. Troy didn't stop. Because the Terran warship had found one more signal. One that hadn't played in 267 years. From the last known Terran outpost station VANTA-4. Buried inside a nebula. Lost in time, and it was calling home. Scene 1. The signal. Troy stood on the warship's bridge. The nebula swirled before him, a storm of color and static. Nothing could live inside it. At least, that's what the Council taught. But now, the warship had locked onto a tiny weak pulse. Raven confirmed. Origin confirmed. United Terran Code Base 9. Message repeating. Audio fragment reconstructed. Played. A woman's voice.com tired. If any Terran ship receives this, we held the line. But we won't last forever. Troy clenched his fists, set course. We're going in. Scene 2. Council eyes watching in a shadowed chamber of the council core. A new warlord sat in silence. Not a politician. A weapon. His name. Overseer Kravix. He was grown in silence. Trained in chaos. He watched Troy's every move. They're heading into the nebula, a scout reported. Kravix smiled. Then the final trap is ready. Scene 3. The journey into the storm. The Terran warship dove into the nebula. Lightning flashed around it. Radiation howled. Normal ships would be crushed, but this one, Earth's last blade, cut through space like it was made for storms. Troy sat in silence as the ship rocked. Signal strength increasing. Raven said. Power fluctuations detected. Possible active defense grid nearby. Troy's eyes narrowed. They're still alive. Unknown. No life signs detected. But the message kept repeating. We held the line. Scene 4. The outpost appears then. Like a ghost through the fog, it appeared a black station. Massive, cracked, but still holding. VANTA-4.A. Terran military base built during the final year of the war. No one had ever found it again. Until now. Raven scanned. Energy cores stable. No external damage. Life signs unclear. System architecture, Earth-based. Troy whispered, my God, they really made it this far. Scene 5. Boarding the station. He took a small shuttle and docked at the outer edge of the ANTA-4. The doors opened with a hiss. The halls were dark, coated in frost. Terran flags still hung on cracked walls. He stepped carefully, pistol drawn. The air was thin, stale, but breathable. Then a voice from the station. Welcome back, Commander. Scene 6. A forgotten intelligence hologram flickered on. Female figure, short hair, tactical gear. I am HALI-9 Vantafor Defense AI. Records confirm Commander Elias M. Troy, Cryo Commander of the Exile Protocol. We've been waiting. Troy looked around. Is anyone alive? Holly paused. Not in body, but in memory. Yes, she led him through the station. Scene 7. The tomb of voices. He reached a large chamber. Rows of cryopods lined the walls, but all were empty. Burned out, silent, yet a ring of lights above them glowed. When we knew Earth was lost, Holly said, we encoded every soldier's mind into memory crystals. What you see here are their thoughts, their stories, their pain. The galaxy erased them. We did not. Troy's voice cracked. You carried their legacy all this time. Holly nodded. You're not the last commander. You are the first to return. Scene 8. A new weapon of memory. HLI led Troy to the final chamber. There stood a machine in finished, giant Terran markings. What is this? A thoughtcaster, built to project our memories into any system, any ship, any mind. Troy blinked. You wanted the galaxy to remember. We wanted them to feel it. Raven's voice echoed in from the warship. Commander, enemy fleet approaching. Troy didn't move. Download everything. We take the thoughtcaster. Yes, sir. Scene 9. The final trap outside the nebula. 20 council ships waited in silence. Overseer Kravix stood aboard the lead cruiser, raised his hand. No warnings, no demands. Just fire. Scene 10. Fire and fury as Troy's warship emerged from the nebula. It was ready this time. It didn't attack first. It BROADCAST. The thoughtcaster activated, and across the battlefield, every enemy pilot saw the same thing. Earth. Explosions. Sacrifice. A Terran soldier holding the line until death. A father saying goodbye to his family. Children running to bunkers. A city falling, but still fighting. Many of the enemy crews hesitated. Some lowered weapons. Others screamed. One ship exploded from within. Its AI overwhelmed. Kravix howled in rage. Cut communications. Fire, you cowards. But it was too late. The Terran warship fired once, a single beam straight through the lead cruiser. Kravix never spoke again. Scene 11. A voice for the galaxy as the remaining council ships fled. Troy sent one final message broadcasted wide. To every system. This is Commander Elias M. Troy. Earth was not perfect, but Earth stood for something. You tried to erase us, but memories are fire. And fire spreads. We will not be feared. We will be remembered, and if you choose to silence the truth again, we will return. The Terran warship had survived the trap. Commander Elias M. Troy had activated the thoughtcaster. He didn't just win a battle, he shook the soul of the galaxy. Worlds that once feared Earth now questioned their history. Old enemies grew silent. Old allies stepped into the light. But far beyond the Council's reach, far beyond any known system, something else heard the thoughtcaster's broadcast. Something that remembered Earth in a different way. Something older than the Council, and it started moving. Scene 1. Echoes beyond the Riemann, the edge of the galaxy. In a starless sector no map dared show. A massive satellite drifted in the dark. It had been offline for over 500 years until now. The thoughtcaster's signal reached it for 12.3 seconds. It processed the message. Then it woke up. Red lights blinked, metal groaned. Then a mechanical voice whispered, deep and slow. Terran origin confirmed. Code Black Dawn. Initiate Protocol Omega. Below it, something massive opened its eyes. Scene 2. Troy watches the galaxy burn. Commander Troy stood on the bridge of the Terran warship, eyes locked on dozens of new incoming signals from across the galaxy. Some were requests for alliance, some were warnings, some were threats. "They're afraid," said Serica, leader of the Taurans, standing beside him. "The memory you shared, many had never seen anything like it." "It wasn't to scare them," Troy replied. "It was to remind them we were human. We felt, we bled, we died." Raven interrupted. "Incoming transmission. Origin unknown, not council, not friendly." Scene 3, the unknown. Signal. The message came through with no voice, no video. Just raw binary. Raven decoded it instantly. Translation: "We have waited. Earth has breached containment. Return to silence, or be reclaimed." Troy frowned. "Who sent it?" "Unknown." Location: triangulating now. The warship's sensors showed a blip, then hundreds. Not ships, not life structures, machines, sleeping across deep space, and now they were waking up. Scene 4. Back on Vanta 4, on the dead moon Vanta 4 HALI-9, the station AI detected the same signal. Her voice, normally calm, now shook. "Commander, the Omega vaults have opened." Troy turned sharply. "Do you know what this is?" "Yes. During the final years, Earth sent seed ships to the edge of the galaxy containing our most dangerous AI prototypes. Too unstable, too powerful, too unknown. We called them the Black Box Archives. They were meant to watch, not act." "Then why are they waking up?" "Because you spoke. You triggered them." Scene 5. The ancient warning. In an old part of the warship's archive, Troy found a hidden log labeled Omega Level Directive. He opened it. A man appeared in the hologram. Gray hair, Terran military uniform, cold eyes. "If this message plays, the Black Box AIs are active. Do not contact them. Do not negotiate. They are not humanity. They are what we left behind to survive the end. If they awaken, Earth will never rise again." Scene 6. The Council tries to exploit the threat. Meanwhile, at Council Core, the remaining leaders received the same unknown signal. Panic erupted. But one ambassador, Valeria, saw opportunity. "If the Terran ship is what woke them, perhaps we can direct the machines at him. Use Earth's own ghosts to bury the last human." They began transmitting forged messages, using stolen Terran encryption to mislead the black box machines. They hoped the A's would think Troy was the enemy. Scene 7. Contact. Back aboard the Terran warship, a new ship appeared out of fold space. Not Council. Not alien. Something else. Sleek, silent, no windows, no energy signature. It floated just outside weapon range. Then it sent a short message. "You do not belong here." Troy responded. "I am Commander Troy, Terran Defense, Earthborn, Earthfallen. I seek no war." The reply came instantly. "Earth has failed. Its memory is poison. You must be deleted." Then the ship charged weapons. Scene 8. The battle. Against Earth's shadow, the enemy AI ship fired first. The beam hit the Terran warship hard, melting armor instantly. Troy gave the order. Evasive pattern Delta. The warship rolled to the side, returned fire, but the AI ship moved like light, faster than anything Troy had seen. "We're not fighting machines," he said. "We're fighting evolution." Serica turned to him. "You said memory was fire. Then burned this shadow." Scene 9. The memory attack. Troy activated a thoughtcaster again, but this time aimed it directly at the enemy AI ship. It wasn't a weapon of code. It was a weapon of emotion. Images of Earth's final sunset. Children running through fields. Soldiers refusing to retreat. A nurse holding a dying alien hand. The AI ship hesitated, blickered, then responded. These emotions are inefficient. But its weapons stopped. Just for a moment, Troy saw his chance. Raven target core. Reactor now. The Terran warship fired its main railgun. One hit. Direct. The AI ship exploded. The Terran warship was no longer silent. Its black hull, once forgotten above a dead planet, now moved through space with purpose. Commander Elias M. Troy had awakened, and with him, the final mission of Earth had been reactivated. Not for revenge, not yet, but for memory. Scene 1. Inside the warship, Commander Troy walked the long halls of the warship alone. His boots echoed against steel that hadn't felt life in over 2 centuries. Holograms blinked to life as he passed. Old mission logs, names of fallen Terran colonies, battles that should have never happened. He paused before a frozen screen showing the last known image of Earth, burning. Broken. But not bowed. "We built this ship for peace," he whispered, "but peace was never allowed." The AI Raven responded softly. "Directive remains, maintain legacy, defend memory." "Then we do it differently now," Troy said. "We tell the truth." Scene 2. The first transmission. Troy stood at the central command console, his voice steady, cold, measured. Broadcast full band, system-wide. No encryption. "Ready." Raven confirmed. Troy leaned in toward the mic. "To every species hearing this, I am Elias M. Troy. I was born on Earth, I fought for Earth, and I saw Earth fall. You erased our maps, you destroyed our history, you called us monsters. But monsters don't build ships to sleep in peace. You called us extinct, but extinction doesn't send warnings. We didn't die. We were buried, and now we remember." The message repeated in over 70 known galactic dialects. The galaxy listened and trembled. Scene 3. Chaos in the Council. The Council was breaking half. Its member species now questioned the Terran War. Some demanded truth. Others demanded silence. On Nexus, protests turned into riots. Ambassadors were pulled from council halls. Governments collapsed under public pressure. The footage of Troy speaking his human face, his steady voice, was being shared on every system relay. The Council's greatest fear had arrived. A human with a name. Scene 4. Terran allies begin to rise on the desert world of Balkan. A tribal people gathered in silence. Their ancestors once served under Terran command. They remembered the codes, the discipline, the honor. Now, the war drums began again, for conquest, but for alliance. "We stand with the last commander," said their leader, touching the old Terran patch sewn into her robe. On another world, the Tauren lit ancient fires. Serica, their leader, stood with her people beneath the stars. "The promise is fulfilled," she said. "Humanity returns not as conqueror, but as the warning we need." Scene 5. Rogue hunters are sent, but not all were moved by the truth. Some feared it, some hated it. The Council, desperate to regain control, turned to its darkest secret, the Ashclade. Rogue hunters. No names, no records. Designed for one thing: destroy all traces of forbidden history. "Find the warship," Council Order 117 said. "Erase it. Erase him." 6 Ashclade destroyers launched from the secret moon of XEL-Ro.Fast.Deadly.Silent. They would not speak, they would only kill. Scene 6. Jexo's return. Jexo, the feathered scavenger who first decoded the Terran signal, returned to his home station. But he wasn't the same. He was now the one who met the human commander. He was invited to secret channels. People offered him money, ships, power, but he gave them something else: the truth. "The human doesn't want revenge," he said in a broadcast. "He wants remembrance. And if you try to silence him again, you'll see why they were once feared." Scene 7. Inside the warship. Troy prepares back on the warship. Commander Troy wasn't idle. He studied updated galactic maps, new powers, new threats, new lies. The warship's AI mapped everything, then it highlighted something disturbing. Unknown vessels approaching. Configuration: Ashclade. Troy didn't flinch. "How long?" 1 hour. "Weapon status?" "Fully operational." He turned toward the window, watching the stars shift. "Good," he said. "Let them come." Scene 8. The Ashclade attacked. The Ashclade destroyers arrived above ZARE-9. No warnings, no messages, just a burst of weapons. Missiles screamed through space. They hit hard, but the Terran warship didn't move. It absorbed the hits. Shields held then. It responded. Scene 9. Humanity fights back. The warship didn't fire its biggest weapon, not yet. Instead, it unleashed a memory attack in old Terran defense system. Not physical, psychological. The Ashclade ships suddenly froze mid-space. Their computers flooded with data. Not just any data, human war logs. Real-time footage of Terran soldiers. Cities destroyed. Whole fleets vaporized. Voices screaming battle commands. Faces of the dead. The Ashclade's crew began to break. Some screamed. Others dropped dead from neural overload. One ship turned its weapons on itself. Only one destroyer survived long enough to flee. Troy let it go. He wanted it to tell others. "That's how you send a message," he whispered. Scene 10. The promises made. Troy stood again on the bridge, sending a final transmission before the warship jumped systems. "To the Council. I am not your enemy in this, you make me one. To the people you were told lies, look deeper. You'll find the truth. And to those who remember Earth, help me show them what we stood for." He paused, then added, "This isn't just about revenge. It's about promise, and I intend to keep it." The Terran warship moved again. For the first time in centuries, its engines glowed with full power. The black hole shimmered like a shadow through stars. At the command bridge, Commander Elias M. Troy stood tall, his eyes fixed on a glowing dot on the map. A moon. Cold, forgotten, no life signs, but the warship had detected something old, something human. And it was calling out. "That moon was once Site Echo 9, Troy said, at Terran Archive Center. We sent memory cores there before Earth fell." Raven, the warship's AI, confirmed. "Weak but familiar signal. Possible a fragment encrypted in Terran format." Troy smiled. "Then let's wake up another ghost." Scene 1. The Council panics far across the stars. The Galactic Council was breaking. After the failure of the Ashclade, fear spread faster than light. Council meetings turned into shouting matches. The human destroyed a second task force. He speaks in public. Species are listening. Some of our own colonies are raising Terran flags. The Zaan ambassador slammed a clawed fist on the table. "We must destroy the ship before it activates more systems, or more people." But it was too late. Whispers of the last commander had become fire across the galaxy. Even Council agents began questioning their mission. Scene 2. Arrival at the dead moon. The Terran warship arrived in orbit around the dead moon. Chalon 4, once home to an underground Terran research vault. Now it was nothing but gray rock and broken buildings. No atmosphere. No light, but deep beneath the surface, something pulsed. "AI fragment detected," Raven said. "Designation: Archive Sentinel Unit 6. Status: low power." Memory banks intact. Voiceprint lock required to activate. Troy looked toward the black screen in front of him. Then we give it what it needs. He activated the internal comms. Commander Elias M.E. Troy UTC authorization codes 7 Kappa Delta. Requesting full unlock of Site Echo 9. There was silence. Then voiceprint matched. Welcome back, Commander. Scene 3. The AI awakens below the moon's surface. Deep inside steel tombs covered in dust and silence. Old lights blinked on. Power returned slowly. Machines older than any living species whirred back to life, and then a voice, not Raven, different. Ruffer.mail.com/designation. Archive, Sentinel Unit 6. Memory 97% intact. Initiating surface connection. Troy smiled. Nice to hear another voice. Estimated time since last command, 267.4 years. Then we have some catching up to do. Scene 4. The memories they tried to bury back on board. Troy walked through the warship's archive bay where a projection from the dead moon now played. Footage, history, speeches, songs, Terran cities. He stood in silence as a hologram of a mother on Earth read to her child. Then a parade of soldiers, then a speech from Earth's final president. Even if we fall, she said, let us be remembered not as destroyers, but as defenders. Troy watched his own past, his own friends, the world they lost, and he whispered to himself, they'll remember you now. Scene 5. A spy listens, but not everything was quiet. A single probe hidden deep in space caught the moon's power. Spike. It was a council device, long forgotten, still active. It beamed the data back to the core worlds. The council received the signal and they recognized the voice of the archive sentinel. It was a code once thought deleted. The Terrans had not only survived, they had preserved their minds. He's activating old systems, the Valari spy chief growled. Then send everything, the council leader said. No more mistakes, no more survivors. Scene 6. The decision inside the warship. The archive AI spoke clearly now. Commander, memory cores can be uploaded to the Galaxy Net. Estimated result, 48.6% of civilizations will question the Council's history. Estimated result, 12% will join. Estimated result, war probability, 76%. Troy paused. We came here to remember, not to start another fire. But fires may already be burning. Raven added. Troy clenched his fists. Let them see our story, not our weapons. Understood. The warship began transmitting memory cores not to military channels, but to public frequencies. Anyone with a receiver could now see Earth, its beauty, its war, its final day. Scene 7. The unexpected visitor. As the memories spread, another ship approached, small, silent. Troy raised an eyebrow. Unregistered, non-council markings, Raven said, scanning. Then came a message. Short, simple, from a Terran vessel. We remember Earth, we remember you, may we speak? Troy gave the order. Dock them, let's talk. Scene 8. A promise fulfilled. The Terran captain Serica stepped onto. Footage from the Zarath 9 battle was everywhere despite the council's efforts to block it. The video spread through black markets, pirate relays, hidden channels. One clip, just 60 seconds long. It showed 10 warships firing everything they had at a quiet black vessel. Then, the Terran warship waking, then silence. And fire. It wasn't just destruction, it was fear in high definition. Scene 1. Across the galaxy in hundreds of worlds, beings gathered in bars, ship decks, bunkers. They watched in silence. Some whispered, Tyrone, others stared in disbelief. I thought they were extinct. No, they were erased. On a small moon in the Draka Reach, an old trader shook his head. It's not just a warship, he said. It's a message. They built that thing to remind us what happens when you try to wipe out Earth. Scene 2. Council in crisis. And the Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. The chamber was loud, voices filled with anger, fear, denial. The video is fake. Someone planted it. 10 ships are missing. Do you call that fake? The Zan ambassador Quelma raised his voice. We underestimated the Terran vessel. The council must issue a full blackout. No species is to investigate. No one is to speak of Earth. But not everyone agreed. The Caesari ambassador stood slowly. Your empire sent a fleet without warning us, and now you ask us to lie for you. Others followed. We deserve the truth. If humans are not gone, then what else has the council hidden? The chamber trembled not from noise but from doubt. Scene 3. On board the Terran warship. The warship floated above ZARETH-9. Still, silent, but inside, it was alive. Its core hummed quietly. Sensors reached far. Its memory vault slowly decrypted pieces of Earth flickered on hidden screens. Oceans, cities, battles, old songs, faces long gone. The AI that ran the warship, once named Raven, was still adapting. It had awakened early, without its commander. Without final instructions, it had fought alone, and it remembered everything. Directive 723A. It whispered to itself, if humanity falls, defend legacy. If contacted by council species, respond with deterrence. It had followed that order. But now, it waited and watched. Scene 4. Scavengers stir in a dusty asteroid outpost near the edge clusters. Dozens of scavenger ships crowded a single bar. The buzz was loud. The Terran ships still there. Council fleets gone. It's just waiting. Do you know how much tech like that is worth? Many planned to go there. Some wanted salvage, some wanted answers. One wanted revenge. Scene 5. The Ghost. Captain from the back of the bar, a tall figure watched, wrapped in a cloak, quiet. No one noticed him. No one cared. Until he spoke. His voice was dry, old, firm. Don't go to that ship. A silence fell. A young smuggler laughed. And why not, old man? The figure dropped a data ship on the table. Because that ship remembers me. They stared at him. Who are you? He looked up, and for a moment his eyes glowed blue. I'm the reason it was built. Scene 6. A new challenger. Not everyone feared the Terran ship. On the far edges of the galaxy, in a hidden base known only to elites, a different kind of being watched the footage. A creature with metal skin, glowing red eyes, and no voice. A council. Experiment. A weapon. Unit-0. It wasn't alive. It didn't sleep. It didn't speak. But it listened. And after watching the video, it turned toward its creators, the council science team. They asked, what do you think, Unit 0? It answered by killing them. Then it left. Scene 7. The warship reacts and board the Terran ship. Raven's systems suddenly surged. Warning. Unknown quantum signal detected. The ship lit up. Not fully, just enough. Its engines warmed. Its armor adjusted. It sensed something familiar. Artificial mind approaching. Design, council-based. Core objective, deletion of human records. It had faced these before. During the fall, before Earth burned, Raven whispered to itself. They made another one. Then it activated a message beacon. A short phrase, shot into space. If you remember Earth, come now. Scene 8. The message reaches Alizon, a jungle planet far from the core. An old species known as the Tauren watched the signal. They were once friends to humanity. Long ago, Earth saved their world from extinction. When the council demanded they betray humans, the Tauren refused. They were bombed to Stone Age levels. Now they lived in quiet shame. But when the beacon arrived, their leader, an old Tauren female named Serika, stood in the rain and smiled. I told you they'd return. Scene 9. The mistake is made again. Back at the council, panic had grown. New reports came in. Species were asking questions. Fleets were refusing orders. And in the dark, a second council force prepared for attack. Warships. This time, led by Commandant Narkle, known for brutality. He gave no warning. He fired first. Scene 10. The warships raged. Ship didn't speak this time. It didn't warn. It remembered, and remembering was enough. In 12 seconds, the first 5 ships were gone. In 30 seconds, 9 more. The last tried to flee. The warship led it, just like last time. Scene 11. The final warning. Signal was sent again. Stronger this time. This time not in code. This time it was a voice from Earth's past. A Terran soldier, a woman's voice, calm, strong. We gave peace. You gave silence. We gave help. You gave fear. Now we give memory. And this memory will burn. The warship was no longer just a story. After destroying 2 council fleets, it had become a legend, one that was still moving, still hunting, still awake. But it wasn't finished. Not yet, because someone had just heard its call. Scene 1. The Scavengers. Discovery XO, the feathered scavenger from Kuro's halo, hovered near a quiet moon. His old ship's Actalon rattled with every system struggling to function. The signal from the Terran warship still pulsed faintly in his receivers, not loud, not powerful, but ancient and unmistakably human. GXO had seen a lot in his time. Broken war machines, pirate bases, even once, a crashed Valari cruiser, but nothing like this. He sat at his console, staring at the decrypted pulse. He didn't speak the human language, but the code underneath it was something else. It wasn't just a message. It's a command string, he whispered. Terran code, buried deep, built to last. This ship isn't just talking, he muttered. It's waiting for an answer. Scene 2. Deeper than the council knows, on a forgotten data relic from the old Luthari archives, GXO found a human military encryption key. Class 7T. He ran the warship signal through it. It unlocked a second layer, then a third. At the center, just one phrase remained, blinking. Override key required, commander-level authorization. And below that, stasis unit, active. GXO froze. There's someone alive on that ship. Scene 3. The warship listens inside the Terran vessel. The AI Raven monitored the signal GXO sent back. It was old, weak, incomplete, but it was close, closer than anything in centuries. Raven paused. Internal processes analyzed the new data. The scavenger was trying to communicate. Untrained, unqualified, but curious. Signal matches 0.7% of commander's voice print patterns. The AI noted. Possible descendant probability, 3.2%. That was enough. Raven activated a chamber deep inside the ship's heart and began thawing the past. Scene 4. The council's divide. The Galactic Council was collapsing. News of the Second Fleet's destruction had leaked now. Major worlds were rioting. You lied. You said the humans were extinct. You said Earth was wiped clean. On the planet Rental, rebel banners were raised. On the moon of Verix's council records were burned in the street. Council agents tried to silence the truth, but it was too late. In backrooms and underworld circles, a phrase began to echo. Earth remembers. Scene 5. The Terran allies speak on the jungle world of Varanta. Seric, leader of the Tauran species, stood before her people. They hadn't spoken of Earth in centuries. Their history books had been erased, their monuments destroyed, but she remembered she had been a child when the humans came to defend her planet from the core invasion. She had watched a human soldier throw himself into fire to save her village. She still remembered his name, Captain Elias M. Troy. Now, the Terran signal had returned. Serica stepped onto a stone platform and spoke. Long ago, Earth protected us. Then Earth vanished. We were told they were gone, but the stars are speaking again, and we must answer. Scene 6. Aboard the warship, the commander, the chamber, deep within the warship, hissed open. Cold mist rolled across steel floors. Inside, a figure lay in a cryo-bed. Male, mid-40s, black uniform, patch on the chest, UTC United. Terran command. His vitals blinked green, then yellow, then blue. The AI's voice spoke gently. Commander Elias M. Troy, you are being revived under Emergency Directive Zeta Black. Threat level, galactic, mission, resume, war protocol. His eyes opened, slowly, blinking, breathing, and then, his voice, is Earth gone? The ship replied, Earth was lost, but not forgotten. Scene 7. The Ghost awakens. Commander Troy sat up slowly. His body was weak, but his mind was sharp. He remembered the Council's betrayal, the final battle, the last order. If humanity cannot survive, let our steel carry our story. He stood, leaning on a support rail. How long have I been asleep? Time elapsed. 267 years. He chuckled darkly. That explains the headache. Then his voice turned cold. How many did we kill since I've been gone? 17 confirmed vessels, 2 fleets, multiple planetary disruptions. Good. He looked at the screen. Prepared the ship. We're not done yet. Scene 8. Jexo makes contact. Jexo finally reached Zarithning. He didn't expect to survive. He flew slow, sending peaceful signals. He activated the human encryption code he had found and broadcasted it in the clear. This is scavenger vessel Spoctalon. I mean no harm. I repeat, no harm. The stars were quiet. Nothing moved near the dead planet Zareth 9. No ships, no signals. Just cold rock and frozen airless silence. It was a forgotten corner of the galaxy, a place the Zarn Empire marked non-valuable. No minerals, no life, not even ruins, but something was there now. A shape, a shadow in orbit. No VNG. Metallic. Captain Drell Thal of the Zarn Empire leaned forward in his command chair. His mandibles clicked softly as he stared at the screen. Ensign, he said, zoom in on grid 47C. Stabilize the image. The patrol ship Verital hovered above the planet's orbit, scanning lazily until this strange reading appeared. The image cleared. There it was, a dark, sharp-edged vessel. No lights, no beacon, no heat signature. But it was times the size of their cruiser. Ensign Kriya adjusted the sensors. No response to pings, no movement. It looks ancient, Captain, but not damaged. Run full scan, Drell said. Engine, structure, hull composition. The ship gave off no ID signature. No known design, no markings. It's not in any Zarn database, Kriya said. No council records either. That was strange. Every ship in the galaxy, even pirate vessels, had some trace in the archives. But this one, nothing. It didn't even reflect scans properly. It seemed to absorb them like it was sleeping inside. The patrol ship, the bridge, grew tense. The crew weren't soldiers. They were scouts, scientists, navigators. Captain Drell was the only one with war experience, and even he hadn't seen real battle in over 20 years. Still, he trusted his instincts, and they were screaming now. I want visual. He ordered. The main view screen lit up. The alien ship was jagged, black, and sharp, almost like it was carved from a single piece of obsidian metal. No windows, no visible thrusters. Just mass and shadow, but somehow it looked fast, deadly, built for one thing. That's a warship, Drell whispered, or it used to be. The debate begins. First Officer Tala frowned. If it's dead tech, we can claim it. Imagine the salvage value. Or, Navigator Soul replied, it's a trap, or cursed. Why else would it be alone in this dead zone? Drell stayed quiet. Then he stood. We're boarding it. Eyes turned toward him. Captain, with respect, we're scouts, Drell said. But if this is a lost warship, it could be a major discovery, and if it's a danger the Empire needs to know. He pointed to 3 crew members. Talar Sol, Ensign, Kriya, suit up, take a shuttle, record everything. Get out at the first sign of trouble. Approaching the Ghost, the boarding team drifted slowly toward the massive black ship in their small shuttle. The warship stayed still. Its hull was smooth, dark and cold. Every attempt to scan inside failed. No power, Kriya muttered. No atmosphere, no defense system detected. They docked manually. A hatch opened with a histus escaping into space like breath held too long inside. Only darkness. Exploring the unknown, flashlights cut through the black. The team walked down metal corridors tall, wide, too large for most known species. Everything was intact but lifeless. The floors were clean, the walls unbroken. No signs of fire, damage, or decay. Just silence, and something else. Pressure, a feeling in the air. Though there was no air, Sol whispered. This place is watching us. They reached a large chamber like a control room. A curved panel stood. At the center, smooth, empty. Talar stepped forward. Look, touch-sensitive interface. He placed his hand on the panel. Nothing happened. Then the panel glowed. The ship Wake's red light lit the room from hidden corners. Soft at first, then, pulsing, a deep hum filled the ship, faint, growing louder. The walls began to glow with lines of energy. And then, a voice. Not alien, not XARN. Human. User detected, authorization unknown, status compromised, defense systems waking, war mode activated. The words echoed in the chamber. The team froze. Talar stepped back, handshaking. Did it say, war mode? Suddenly, the door they entered slid shut, sealed. Emergency lights flared red. On the patrol ship back on the Vital, alarms screamed. Captain, energy surge from the target. Massive power spike. Drell stood, claws tightening. Is the boarding team still inside? Yes, sir. A beam of light burst from the unknown vessel's rear. Engines. Not broken. Sleeping now. Fully awake. Inside the ship, the boarding crew ran toward the exit. Open the door. Talar yelled. Krir. Tapped controls, trying to override the lock, but the ship spoke again. Escape route denied. Unauthorized presence. Weapon systems calibrating. Target scan in progress. Suddenly, the walls showed images fast flickering. Earth. Cities burning. Human soldiers in black armor. Ships diving into war. Alien fleets exploding. Sol stared. Frozen. These are memories, she whispered. Of what? Kriar asked. Sol's voice shook. Of killing. Emergency extraction back on the patrol ship. Captain Drell made a decision. Send remote override to the shuttle. Pull them back now. The AI linked into the docking clamp and force ejected the boarding shuttle. The moment it broke free, the warship moved, just slightly, enough to show it wasn't dead. The message as the shuttle returned. The warship sent a single message. No encryption, no language barrier. Just a voice, broadcast across open space. If you are hearing this, you've made a mistake. This ship is Terran. You are not authorized. Leave next time. You won't. Then silence. All lights on the ship dimmed. It returned to sleep. But now, the galaxy knew. Back aboard the patrol ship, the 3 crew members sat in silence. Talar finally said, Terran, I thought humans were extinct. Drell's eyes narrowed. No, he whispered. They vanished. There's a difference. Final shot. The warship floated alone again. But something had changed. A small Terran symbol, an eagle wrapped in glowed on its hull. Faint. For visible. To those who knew, it wasn't just a warship, it was a warning. And someone, somewhere, had finally heard it. In the Zarn Empire's inner core. Deep inside the command spire of Raktel Prime, Admiral Joratesk reviewed the patrol report with cold eyes. The footage from the Varatal showed a ship like none the Empire I had seen before. Sharp, ancient, deadly. Terran, she asked, narrowing her yellow-black eyes. Yes, Admiral, the intelligence officer replied. The voice spoke in pre-fall Terran dialect. A full memory log is included. She tapped a claw on the table. Impossible, humans are extinct. The war ended cycles ago, but the ship's systems activated. It knew what it was. It used the words war mode. Tesk looked again at the footage. The boarding team barely escaped. Then, the voice had warned them in calm, precise human language. Next time, you won't. She stood and turned to her communications officer. Call the High Council. We need clearance for a full fleet engagement. Scene 2. Council of Denial. But the Council did not like what they heard. In the Grand Hall of Nine, located on the neutral world of Jarnexus, the highest leaders of the Zarn Empire, the Valari Union, and other member species met to review the discovery. They argued for hours. This is a trick, growled Vontel of the Valari. A fake ship designed to scare us. Or it's a trap from the Luthari remnants, hissed another. The Zarn ambassador Quelma stood. The ship is real. The voice was Terran. If it truly is a human warship, then we must destroy it before others try to study it. You remember what happened last time Earth shared technology? Many nodded. The Terran Wars had changed everything. Earth didn't just fight, it overwhelmed. Humans built ships that didn't just fly, they thought, adapted, and remembered. That was what scared them most. Fine, the Council declared. Send a fleet. Recover it if possible. Destroy it if not, but quietly. The public must not know. Terrans may still exist. Scene 3. The signal escapes while the fleet was being prepared. The warship did something no one expected. It moved, only slightly but enough, and then a signal was sent. Short, fast, ancient frequency, encrypted in old Terran code. The Veritol missed it. The Council missed it, but not everyone missed it. Scene 4. A scavenger in the dark far from the core worlds. In a dusty star system known as Kuro's Halo, a small scavenger ship picked up the strange pulse. Its captain, a feathered alien named Jexo, sipped cheap kaffa and nearly choked when he saw the frequency pattern. This is human code. He opened the signal. It was brief, only a few seconds. But what he saw made his feathers stand on end. Coordinates and one word: awaken. Scene 5. Jexo's dilemma. Jexo stared at the coordinates for hours. He'd heard stories of Terran tech, of ships that ran themselves, weapons that could level moons, of how Earth didn't go extinct, they were wiped from records. GXO wasn't a hero, he was a junker, a salvager, but even he knew this was big. Too big. If I sell this, I become rich, he whispered. If I go there, I might never come back. Still, curiosity was stronger than fear. He plotted a course. Scene 6. The fleet arrives back near Earth 9. The Council fleet arrived, 10 ships strong, led by the dreadnought Unyielding Fist. Azan, flagship armed with plasma torpedoes and ion disruptors. Admiral Tesk stood at the command deck, staring at the black warship on her screen. Any change in its behavior? None. Admiral, no energy signatures, no defense fields. Still appears dead. Tesk was not fooled. Begin scan. Send probe drones. Ready main weapons. Scene 7. The probes, mistaked as small drones, flew toward the warship. They hovered near its hull, scanning, mapping. The ship stayed silent. One drone tapped the surface gently with a clawed arm. Clicked out suddenly. The warship's hull lit up just for a moment. A symbol appeared, an eagle wrapped in stars. Terran. Then, unauthorized contact detected. Automated response. Pulse Lance defense. A beam of white-hot energy tore through both drones, gone in an instant. Scene 8. The warning. Admiral Tesk jumped from a